I am Francesca Lopez. I'm the Executive Director of the Stage Left Children's Theater. We have been around for 14 years now. We started out with 25 children, and now we have an enrollment of approximately 250. And we do everything from classes, different classes, dance, acting, makeup, costumes, and then we actually do workshops where the kids are fully costumed and on a stage with mics and sounds and lights and curtains and put on a full performance. The challenges of the old website. Typical of a not-for-profit, we used our local college geek and had a couple of parents who stepped up and volunteered to help me out. And we sort of piecemealed it together to the point where it became huge manual labor at the back end. So it was transparent to my members because they could register online, they could pay online, but because it was all piecemealed, then when I sat down to work with it, the manual labor just wasn't worth it. And it was very difficult with the last program we used was Dreamweaver. The last parent I used more code than using the actual Dreamweaver. So every time I had to update something, I'd start off and then I'd have to call him and say, I'm stuck. And he'd actually go in and do it, but he wasn't going to be around forever. So, and then I came here. Actually being pushed by my husband, who felt that as well as I was running my business, I was overlooking important things. And understanding how much manual work I had, I was finally able to say to him, okay, let's go check it out, because having a great website is wonderful, great for my parents, my students, but not having the manual labor was even the more important thing to me. And we've actually accomplished that. It has just become simple. I have an interface. Well, I'll back up. My parents and my students have been sending little testimonials saying how great they love the website now, how much easier they're finding it to navigate. They love all the photos that are on there now. The registration is like a piece of cake. And for us on the other end, it's now just a couple of clicks to gather information, meld it into QuickBooks, and I'm done. And it's like I'm thrilled. And I'm really getting very excited about the different reports that I'm going to be able to pull out that will, again, take away a lot of manual labor. It'll automatically just be printed, and we don't have to sit there and type it and collate all the data. The importance to me is unvaluable. It's just so simple to do it. E-commerce picks up everything. I had a couple of moments in the beginning where I was getting these transaction slips, and I realized it's the same thing when I run a credit card and I'm trying to get their little tiny slip. So now that I've sort of pulled it all together, it's just a matter in the morning of maybe 15 minutes between e-commerce, my hub, and QuickBooks, just pulling everything together. And the only thing that's been new, and I think it's because I never took Amex before, they seem to have their own paperwork that comes in separately, but I've caught on to that, and it's also not a problem in any way. From the beginning, all of my concerns were addressed, and I know even with QuickBooks, one of the applications that we thought QuickBooks had tested and now was going to be released and didn't work, Liqui-Site didn't miss a heartbeat and had a backup plan, and it all came together exactly as it was promised. And afterwards, any phone call, any email, anything I have done, the response has been immediate. And if you want to work with someone that's easy to work with Liqui-Site. They're there. They're there for you and everything that you need. As long as you can express ahead of time what you're looking for, they can do it. It will be delivered. I was impressed with everything, not being techie. So every PDF file that I was sent to look at as things were being developed was just totally impressive to me, not having been through that process before. So I can't really compare it like if I had been somewhere else, but when my parents or my local geek was helping me, I would give them a list of what I wanted. Nobody ever came back and said, how about if it looks like this or like that, until the very end. And here it was step by step, so I really knew from the beginning what the end product was ultimately going to look like. First of all, I saved money because they convinced me to move everything to Facebook that is free, and I no longer had to use Smoke Mug. So my kids are thrilled because they always love looking at themselves in their pictures. My parents are thrilled because now out of Facebook, they can make a link and have someone else easily look where before it was not as simple. I am working on getting a blog up and running, but not being as young as all the kids that are using this. It's not as simple for me to quite get there, but Liqui-Site has expressed how important it is, and I believe that, and I just have to work my way into it. The sites on the website, as like my volunteer site now, will be more interactive. So in terms of getting more volunteers and helping my parents make it simple for them to sign up, all of these things from a community perspective are coming together. Stage Left Children's Theater, our mission is to build confidence and help children be who they can possibly be. We happen to use the vehicle of the theater. It is wonderful if you have a child who's bashful or timid or afraid of being out in public, because they'll buy into the concept of the theater and then they'll feel like they're acting and yet they're developing themselves. They'll gain social skills that they'll use for life, public speaking, facing crowds and not feeling intimidated. But if your child is not shy, we still welcome them, because every child loves to be on stage, in costume, full makeup, just showing who they can be. So, visit www.stageleftct.org and see if there isn't a place for your child in our theater.